Final Talk, Final Talk, Final Talk with Tavis, with Tavis. Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Vinyl Talk with Tavis, and I'm Tavis. As you can tell in the title, this video is all about some unboxings of a couple of Janet Jackson albums. One, let me turn this mailbox off. One is the Control Remixes album that was just released in the US, a double LP set. And the second one is an album that she did a few years back called Unbreakable. So I can't wait to unbox those. But let's talk about some recent buys from Discogs and eBay that I'm really excited about, okay? It's kind of storming here in Kansas City at this time. So, I'll put this here. You know what? I now understand the importance of outer vinyl sleeves. I watch you all's videos in the vinyl community, and many of you you've been so adamant about buying outer vinyl sleeves. I see why. I remember a few weeks back I did a video and I had my drink. This is just some Pepsi with those crazy looking cubes that don't dilute your drink. I had it sitting down on the floor, and as I would tell about the records I was showing, I placed it on the floor and didn't realize that the drink had fallen and the records were on top of the drink. It just happened to be the Elton John Captain Fantastic album. If you all knew how upset I was at myself.
No! No! No!
Now, I'm placing this drink right here. Pre-sailing. Okay, here we go. What can you say about Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell? This is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful duet albums in history. In my opinion, Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell did 3 albums together. And the first one is called United. This one is You're All I Need. And the third one is called Easy. This album is very sentimental in the fact that it was right before recording this record that Tammy Terrell, at the age in her early 20s, maybe 22, 21, 23, she was diagnosed with a brain tumor. So when her and Marvin Gaye were doing a tour before the recording of this album, she collapsed in his arms. She was complaining of a lot of headaches and things like that, but she just kept pushing forward and wanted to perform. So she performed one night with Marvin Gaye as they were promoting their previous music, and she collapsed in his arms, and they did some tests, and they eventually found out that she had a brain tumor, and she had surgery. In fact, she had many surgeries. But after, I think, maybe 1 or 2 surgeries, she started working with Marvin Gaye on this album. So it's amazing how she persevered through her surgery. I'm sure she had pain. I'm sure she was uncomfortable. But she kept going, and she recorded Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing with Marvin Gaye, You're All I Need to Get By, and all these great songs. And it's been said that Marvin Gaye in the studio said, "Come on, Tammy, you can do it." He kept giving her a lot of positive energy in the studio so that she could sing her part to the best of her ability. But when you hear the music, it's like she was sick while recording this. But she is fantastic. I was so glad to have gotten this from eBay. $7. I'll go for that. Great album. All these wonderful songs. Came out in 1968. I was going to say 67, but it's 1968. Great album. Sentimental as well. Now, everybody. Now, this is sealed. This is an important album to me. This is DeBarge. This is the last DeBarge. Look at all that. I don't care. I'm not taking the plastic off of this. I'm not. This is the last DeBarge album. It doesn't have E.L. DeBarge. It doesn't have Bunny DeBarge, the female. These are all brothers. Let's look at the other brothers. You all know who this is. Y'all, I don't know. I know this is James. I know this is Bobby. So here we have James, Mark, Randy, Bobby. I think that's right. They look so much alike. My heavens. I know that's Bobby. I know that's James. But anyway, this is the last DeBarge album that they made. It was made in 1987. Okay? And just a great record. I haven't opened it yet, but I've heard the music. And if you look at a Punky Brewster, who remembers Punky Brewster out there? If you remember Punky Brewster, there was an episode in which they were on there, along with their brother Chico. It was really cool. And they sang a song on that episode called You're a Big Boy. And I was like, where did that song come from? And then I realized that it came from this record. And I had to buy it. And sure enough, it's the third track on the first side. Can you? Oh, there it is. You're a big boy. You're a big boy. You're a big boy now. It's really cool. Oh my God. It's so cool. Got this. Now I'm going to show you the record itself. Okay, I've opened up the sleeve. I'm keeping the plastic on for now. Let's see how this bad boy looks. What's that? Get you off of there. Always something. DeBarge. Yes, I can't wait to play this. Woo-wee! You're a big boy. You're a big boy now. Okay, there's no water on the floor. Okay, next. Oh, did you know that, speaking of Janet Jackson, since this is a Janet Jackson video primarily, okay, we have our DeBarge guys here. James married Janet Jackson on the sly, and no one knew it until it was already done. That was a big deal in the 80s. The marriage didn't last long. I wonder if he regrets that. Because Janet is doing big things. Anyway, okay. This album, I was so happy to get. This was a bid on eBay. Me and this other person who was, whoever he was or she was bidding on this album, we had a bidding war. I won't tell you how much I paid for this, but it was a bidding war for sure. And I was on there trying to make sure that I was refreshing what he had bidded, and I got it. Finally got The Last Dragon. Y'all, had to get this sealed, might I say. A sealed copy of The Last Dragon. I watched this movie a few weeks ago and went on eBay and just had to find it. Found it sealed. The seller had a good reputation and I started bidding. Has all those great songs. The Rhythm of the Night by DeBarge, the original DeBarge members. I love the song by Alfie called Star. She was a lady who sang with Andre Crouch, the gospel singer. She has that big soprano voice. Man, I can't wait to play this. Let's look at the vinyl. Okay, I have it open here. I'm gonna pull it out. Of course, it's on Motown. You all know what the Motown label looks like. There it is in all this glory. This movie and soundtrack came out, was it in 1984? 1985, I was close. That was a good year. Yeah. And ooh, you all, I tell you, who was not in love with Vanity during that time? I thought she was the most beautiful woman on the planet at that time. Now, if you don't know, a few years after she was with Prince and she did Vanity 6 and then she did this album and she did that movie and she did I think she did a few other movies as well. But later on down the line, she became an evangelist. And she was preaching in all types of churches. And she went through a lot of health issues. I mean, just major health issues. I think it was probably because of the drugs that she was taking. And I mean, I don't know, but she passed away a few years ago. But man, if you look on YouTube, you can see her preaching and how she wanted to change her life and not be associated with this part of her life anymore. But still, I find her music and her likeness, her image, just captivating. And she had it going on. And rest in peace, Vanity. Okay, now it's time for a couple of Janet Jackson unboxings. What this video is all about. Now, this is her album called Unbreakable. Came out in 2015. Now, she has multiple covers for this album. I just happen to have gotten this one. And I love it. Here's the back. Her reemergence with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. She has Missy Elliott doing some rapping on here. She has J. Cole on here. I think she does a song that's in tribute to Michael Jackson because of his passing. That's a beautiful song called Broken Hearts Heal. Ooh! That song, it kind of brings tears to my eyes, but it's an upbeat song. But the lyrics really get you because you know exactly who she's talking about. Michael. So let me go ahead and slit this ever so gently. And this is a gatefold. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and I have some outer sleeves for this and the other. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to keep that hype sticker. There we go. Is that glorious? Oh. Oh, man. Oh, man. Isn't that fantastic? Child, she's wearing that hair. Let's look at the albums inside. Oh, all types of photos. Oh, okay. This is the one that's on the CD. At least the one that I can remember. And here's the back. Man. Okay, let's look at the vinyl. Black vinyl. She has pictures on the label. Heavens to Betsy. That's what I like. That's what I like, y'all. Look at that creativity. Janet is showing us the real deal. That is so cool. I like when labels are like that. Very creative and colorful. Oh, man. 2-album set. This came out in 2015, everybody. And, you know, I remember getting her tickets, or getting the tickets for her tour that she was doing at that time, 2015. And then she canceled because she became pregnant, and she was giving everybody their money back for their tickets at that time. And I never will forget that. I was so upset because I was so looking forward to seeing her in Oklahoma. And see, here's side C, and here's side D. I can't wait to play it. Woo! I've heard every song because I owned the CD when it first came out. I cannot wait to play these two records. Now, here's the big one. The Janet Jackson Control the remixes. Okay? So let's look at the back. All those different pictures. I think it's going to be better if I just go ahead and unseal this thing. This is not a gatefold, as I can tell. Let me have a drink, y'all. You're not in a hurry, are you? I'm not either. My summer's about over. I'll be back in that classroom teaching those kids. If I have any kids watching, I hope that you've been reading over the summer. Okay, I'm going to take them both out. Yeah, I'm not going to take the plastic off. So let's just look. Yeah. Okay. The remixes. Okay. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, students of Tavis. I love it. I love it. You love it. We love it. Let's love it together. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to play Janet. Hey, When I was a teenager, I think I told this story before. I'm going to tell it again. We were doing a Christmas show, and I'll be back. We were doing a Christmas show or a Christmas program or whatever, and we were singing Joy to the World, and this had come out. Okay. And When I Think of You is the second side, the second song. Now, I bought this a while back. It was sealed. So glad to have it. I want to get the one that's red. I'm going to work on that. Anyway, we were doing the song Joy to the World for Christmas. And I don't know if anyone knew, but for the introduction, I wanted it to be different. So I played the introduction to When I Think of You. I used that bass. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. I don't think that the people who are really into church knew that I was playing When I Think of You, because they were not listening to secular music. But child, I was. And I was incorporating all types of stuff in my playing at the time. And they were like, "Ooh, Tavis, that sounds good." Yeah, I said, "Yeah, I know it does." Because I know what I'm doing. And I'm playing a little bit of Jerry Jack. They had no clue. But hey, you all, I've had fun showing you this music. I can't wait to play this. Oh, I've got some great music to play. And I'm going to buy me some outer vinyl sleeves. If you all have any advice on what kind of sleeves I should buy, I want to get some outer sleeves and inner sleeves. I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure I want to get those, but I don't know what kind. So if you can let me know what you're using, I'd really appreciate it. I want to thank all of my subscribers. Thank you all so much for watching. I've had a great time sharing with you. And let me show you this shirt. Remember, every little thing is going to be all right. It's got to. It's got to be all right. You've come this far. You can't give up now. Don't give up. And, as always, with music and with a little Janet Jackson in your life, be inspired and stay inspired.